I know that so many of you out there are struggling because you come from a conservative Christian family, and you've told me, so many of you have messaged me, and I just wanted to respond because you'll message me and say, like, my family's going to disown me. There's no way I can tell them that I'm gay or bi or trans or whatever. They're going to disown me, and so I might as well just kill myself. Okay. How do I do this? I don't even know how to do this. I've never done this before. Okay. I'm already crying. Okay, how do I do this? I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. Somebody help me. I don't know how to do this. Can you help me, please? So as you can tell from the title of this video, I have something really important to talk to you about and to share with you guys. As most of you know, if you've been following my journey and you watch me online all the time and you're on my Instagram live streams, my YouTube videos, my YouTube live streams, all the things, you know that I have been struggling with a secret problem that I finally told my husband just a couple of years ago. And I wanted to tell you guys what it was back then, but I decided to wait until I was ready and confident enough in my decision to make this the best scenario possible in this situation, because this is a really hard situation for me. I would like to clarify, huge disclaimer, I'm not saying that this is a problem. I'm not saying that my secret is a problem in general. I'm just saying that my situation with my secret was a problem, and it's no longer a problem. And I wanted to wait until it was no longer a problem before I shared it with you guys. I just want to stress so much how important it is that you guys know that Danny and I both made this decision together for me to tell the internet, and for so many reasons. And I'm going to explain all those later, so stick around. Yeah, and also try and stick around for the whole video if you can. Please hear me out, because I know this isn't going to be a regular, coming out video or whatever, because there are some things that I do want you to know. So just stick with me for a minute if you can. So I came out to Danny 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. I told him that I'm bisexual. I told him that I've always been attracted to women just as much as I have been to men. Since then, we've been really processing what that means for our marriage and trying to figure out a way to talk about it openly without it affecting our marriage, which was really hard. Again, that's one of the problems I was referring to. I always knew that I was different from the people around me. I grew up in a place, I live in Utah, where the majority of us are LDS, which is my faith. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is my faith. I absolutely believe in it, even though I don't understand some things, and I have to have faith on some things, and that's okay to do. We can't have all the answers here on earth. That's just how I feel. I want to ask that you guys please respect my beliefs in this. I know this is going to be so much different than any other coming out video that you've seen on YouTube, because my situation's a little bit different, and I've ultimately decided to share it, and my husband agrees, because there are so many of you out there who have come to me and, I know that so many of you out there are struggling because you come from a conservative Christian family, and you've told me, so many of you have messaged me, and I just wanted to respond because you'll message me and say, like, my family's going to disown me. There's no way I can tell them that I'm gay or bi or trans or whatever. They're going to disown me, and so I might as well just kill myself because I have nobody and nothing. And there are so many times I just wanted to reach through the screen and hug you and say that I understand, because I was terrified to tell my family. I was terrified that they would disown me, that they would shun me, that they wouldn't want me around them or their kids. But I can tell you now, I had nothing but love and support from my family that love me. And so if you're struggling with something like that, I'm begging you, please choose trying to talk to your family over killing yourself, because listen, I've been there. Believe me, I've been there, and I just know that looking back, had I gone through that through with that, man, I would have never been able to do this. I never would have been able to figure out a way to free myself and help people with it, just like I talk openly about my other problems in hopes that I can help someone and that other people can also validate me and support me that are going through the same thing as I am. So my point is just don't let that stop you from being who you are and telling the people that you love. And if they love you, they will love you. And they might not agree with you. They might not agree that it's right or wrong or bad or good, but if they love you enough, they will still love you. And if they don't, if, those small percent chances where they don't love you and they do disown you and kick you out of the family and you're a disgrace to the family, just know that you're still never alone. If you're like me and you feel, even if my family had completely shunned me, I still would have had God to lean on, and my husband, and most importantly myself. So I'm going to tell you my story. I want to tell you when I first realized and how it affected my life, because this has affected my eating disorder greatly, and it's affected everything in my life greatly. And I want to just point out that before I get into all of this, that I love and accept, and I don't judge anybody, and I love and accept all people. I don't care if you're gay, straight, trans, black, white, purple, yellow, orange. I don't care. To me, it's what's inside that matters. I know that's cheesy, but it's true. It's your heart and the way that you treat people is what I look for. And again, me referring to this as my secret problem, I'm not saying that it's a problem to be gay or trans or bi or whatever. I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm just saying that for me in my situation, it was a problem. So I first realized that I was different, I guess, when I was 6 years old. That was around the time when I started getting crushes on girls and boys. And I know that sounds really weird that so young I was getting crushes, but I've always just been a very sensitive I love type of a person, and I just always had love in my heart, and I've always been a very flirtatious person even as a little girl. It's really weird. I don't know why. But I just remember the first time that it clicked with me was probably when I was around 7. It clicked when my sister was talking to me one day. One of my sisters was talking to me, and we were talking about marriage, and we were talking about how boys like girls and girls like boys. She had said something, and she was really young at the time too, and also I didn't fully understand it yet. I'm sure she didn't either, but she said something along the lines of, you're not going to go to heaven if you choose to be with a girl. You have to get married to a boy. And that was when I first realized and thought to myself that I was evil, that I was going to go to hell, and that I could not, absolutely could not ever tell anybody what I was going through. So over the next years, I would get crushes on boys and I would get crushes on girls, but I would never tell anybody, not even my best friend in the whole world knew. Actually, she did know because I just told her, and she was like, yeah, I always knew, but I didn't know that she knew. Anyway, so growing up, anytime I had a crush on a boy, what I would do, because I always had a crush on a girl too, always. There was never a time that I can remember where I didn't have a crush, and when I had a crush, I always had 2 crushes. One was a girl and one was a boy. So what I would do to try and hide the fact that I liked girls also is I would just act overly boy crazy. So whatever boy I had a crush on, I would obsess over. I never even paid attention in school. All I would think about is that girl and that guy, and how I'm gonna trick everyone around me into thinking that I only like boys, and so I need to act extra obsessed with this guy, and then this guy, and then this guy, and then this guy, to cover the fact that I was actually attracted to this girl, and this girl, and this girl, and this girl. And so it was very confusing for me also growing up. So I just kept the charade going. I kept acting extremely boy crazy, even though I was both boy and girl crazy. And it continued for a long time. I married Danny when I was 19. We got married really young. And I knew that I loved Danny, and I knew that I wanted to be with Danny forever. And so in my mind, when we got married, I was like, okay, well, it's not like I'm full gay, like I am bisexual. So how about, so I mean, I'm gonna, if I want a family, if I want marriage, if I want all of that, I'm gonna have to choose eventually. So I'm gonna choose, and I'm gonna choose Danny. And for the record, I still do to this day and forever and ever and ever. I would say about 3 or 4 years ago, it started to come more in the front of my mind, like that I never talked about it with anybody and never even like told my therapist or my best friend or my mother. It started getting really a lot harder and harder and harder to hide what I was feeling, and where I wanted to like act out my feelings towards girls, but I couldn't. I didn't feel like I could. And so I kept it in, and I noticed that the older I got, the more I became attracted to men that were feminine or gay. And I had 3 different boys that I was in love with at one point or another who all came out to be gay later. People would like make fun of me for that. They would be like, why do you always go for like the most girly type guys? Like, why are you going for guys who are really feminine like that? Like, what's that about? And I just would always joke it off like, I just like it when guys are sensitive and blah, blah, blah. So it was really hard for me to just not be honest with anybody. I had to just keep it in and keep keeping it in and go on with my life. And it affected my eating disorder from the time that my eating disorder started. My eating disorder started at 5 years old. I realized this when I was 6, and all those years of self-hatred and worried that I was going to go to hell, I comforted myself with food, and then that started the whole snowball of my eating disorders. And it was hard. It was really hard. It was really lonely because in my day, guys, like I know that these days in junior high, high school, even elementary school, kids are coming out so easily and it's not a big deal at all. And everyone's, you know, accepting of everyone, and that's great. I love that. I totally support that. I will always support just love and loving each other no matter what. That's what we need to do as human beings, because none of us here are perfect. None of us are not sinning in some ways. If you see it as sinning, that's what it means to be a human, and we have to learn to grow from it or to let it consume us. It's up to us, you know? But anyway, I met Danny accidentally. I was dating one of his friends, who by the way is not gay. Hey Jameson, love you. Uh, but I was dating him. He is sensitive though. I will say that. He was very, very sensitive, and he's great. And he's been Danny's best friend since they were little. So I met Danny because I was dating Jameson, and Jameson was like, oh my gosh, my best friend just got back from his mission. Like, he served a 2-year mission for our church, and you should come to his homecoming with me. I was like, okay. So I came and I met Danny. I met Danny's family the same day I met Danny. Like, it was so weird looking back now that I met them for the first time while I was with somebody else. It's so bizarre to think about that. Anyway, I really loved Danny's like, I just loved his energy and his presence, and I just felt an undeniable connection to him. So as a lot of you know, if you've ever listened to mine and Danny's story together, I actually just really liked hanging out with him so much that I set him up with my stepsister, Liz. And I'll link that whole thing below if you want to hear our detailed story. It's pretty interesting. So we were really young, and it's not uncommon in my culture, again, to get married really young. It's very normal around here. My grandma, my mom, all my sisters, well, not my stepsisters, but my other 2 sisters got married when they were 19 as well. Danny was 21 and I was 19, and obviously we weren't fully mature, but I'm actually grateful that we got to grow together so much. But I will say that through the years, things started getting harder for me because I had spent so much time keeping this stuff in that it just started to make me sick. Like, my bulimia was worse than it had ever been. I was binging and purging 10 times a day. I hated myself. I hated myself. I was afraid that God was going to punish me by killing Danny, and then making me realize that this was my fault because I am bisexual and I'm attracted to girls still. And So I was literally terrified. Like I would never let Danny even leave the house because I was terrified that he would get in a car accident and die, because I was convinced that God was going to punish me for this. I want to say real quick, God does not punish anybody for this. God made me the way that I am, and I know that, and I believe fully that he knew what he was doing when he created me. And I might not understand everything about my situation and about, when it comes to my beliefs and stuff, I might not understand why things are the way they are. But what I do know is that God loves me and always has and always will. And all I know is that I try to live a life where I am as Christ-like as possible, which means to love and accept anybody, if they're not hurting you. If you're gonna rape me or murder me, then yeah, I'm probably not gonna want you in my life. Sorry. But if it's something that is considered a sin, but it doesn't affect me at all, I don't care. And I would hope that other people wouldn't care about what others think as well. I feel like everyone should just be able to live what they think is right. And I'm just trying to do what I think is right for me, with my Heavenly Father by my side. And yeah, so anyway, fast forward to a couple years ago. I had been on YouTube for a couple years. It started to consume me to the point that I was putting every ounce of pain that I had pushed down for so many years, for almost my whole life. I had been covering that with a mask of my eating disorder, my depression, my anxiety, because those were all issues. And so I chose to, just like with the boy thing before, I kind of chose to not exaggerate. I chose to focus, I guess, more on those issues so that, again, no one would ever guess what really is at the core of me that has been painful to keep in, and feeling for 32 years, thinking that I was going to go to hell, thinking that I was evil, thinking that I was going to lose my family and my husband if I ever came out with this. So I kept it in. One night, Danny and I had a really big fight about something. It doesn't matter what we were fighting about. I had started acting out on him a lot. I was being the biggest, absolute, brattiest human to him. I was awful to him. And I started calling him names. And I started this fight was so out of character for me. I started calling him names. I started telling him that he sucked. I told him I wanted a divorce, and we're I don't that's not me at all. Not at all. And I was just saying all these horrible things, and he stopped me and he was like, "Whoa, stop." And he's and he looked at me and connected like he does because he's my angel. And he said, "What is really going on?" And I said, "You know what's going on." And he said, "No, I don't." And I said, "Yes, you do." And he said, "I want you to say it." So I just blurted out out of anger and out of frustration that he was being so great. Why are you being so great when I'm sitting here calling you an asshole and telling you I want to divorce you? And why are you trying to be all nice and loving and stuff? Rude. Stop. I was so mad. And he said, "Just tell me, what is it?" And I said, "I'm gay." And he said, "You're gay." And I said, "Well, I'm bisexual." And he said, "Okay, and?" And I was like, "So you still want to be with me?" And he was like, "Yeah, you're not fully gay, right?" "Yeah." "Okay, did you choose to be with me?" "Yeah." "Okay." It was in that moment that it hit me that all of these years, I thought to myself that because I wasn't completely straight, that I still could choose a relationship to be in. And I could choose between a man and a woman, and I chose a man. And the biggest thing that scared me about telling you guys this, besides like bringing religion and beliefs into it and stuff, is that you guys would be like, oh my gosh, you need to leave the church, you need to leave your family, you need to leave Danny and explore. You never got the chance to explore before you married down. I also told Danny that night that I have explored a little with women. Nobody in my entire life has ever known that until now. Hi, everyone. And so I did know, like, I needed to explore. I needed to find out if this was just something that, like, was caused from the fact that I was abused by penises. Was it that? Like, I talked to my doctor about this, and my doctor told me that she believes that I was born bisexual, and that because I was abused by different men, that made me lean a little bit more towards girls. And that makes total sense, right? Like, it totally makes sense. And so when I tried to explain this to Danny, it was almost as if like he already knew. And he didn't care. He just was like, that makes sense. And if you've explored, if you've thought this through yourself and you really have chosen to be with me, then I don't see the problem. And that's hard because we both grew up in the same church. We both grew up being taught that marriage is between a man and a woman. And he just helped me learn so much. And since then, you know, I told other people, if you want to know how that went, let me know. I will make another video. Maybe I'll do like a Q&A about this if you guys have any questions. Because this is already really long. Sorry, I knew this would take me forever. It's really hard to say this, so just, yeah. So since I told Danny, I've been working on why this felt like such a problem to me. I explored a lot of my emotions and my beliefs, and did a lot of praying, tried to do a lot of praying. It was really hard to do that at the time. And I really just took a lot of time to think it through and then work with a therapist on it so that I could be confident enough to talk to my family about it. I guess the biggest thing that I've learned that I want you guys to know is that you have every right in the world, whether or not you think it's right or wrong to be gay or bi or trans or anything like that. That actually doesn't matter. What matters is that you are happy with yourself, and that you believe in yourself, and that you love yourself the way that God made you. And whether or not you choose to act on those feelings, that's up to you. That's not my place to judge you. That's not anybody's place to judge you. I personally have chosen to be with a man over a woman, and I've chosen that man to be Danny. And over the past couple years, we've worked really hard on this. I've worked on this in therapy. He's worked on it with me personally, with hours worth of talks and crying and tears and frustrations and all of the really hard stuff. And I can say that because of all that, since then, in the past couple of years, we've gotten even closer. Like, it's crazy the things that we've been through in our marriage. We've been through so much and survived so much together, and this has only made us even stronger. And it's also made me realize that this is my feeling, that he and God are the only people whose opinion matter. And that's hard because I can't say that I feel that constantly, because if you know me at all, you know that I care way too much what people think. That's why this video is going to be so hard to film, because I'm worried about offending my family, offending people in the comments, offending the LGBTQ community, offending the LDS community, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's been a difficult thing for me. But, oh gosh, hold on. Sorry, I just got like this deep breath that I haven't had in a while. That was nice. Wow, that felt really good. Wow. What is my status right now? I am definitely bisexual, and I've chosen to be with a man. That man is my husband. I choose to be with him now, always, forever, for all eternity. That's never going to change. But I will say that these feelings that I've had have put so much shame on me throughout my life that I feel like it's time for me to speak up about that and try and help someone out there who might be feeling like the world is over because their family's going to hate them, their church is going to hate them, they're going to hate themselves if they say it out loud, all this stuff. And I just want to say to you, like, no matter what you believe or what anyone around you believes, what's important is to know that God loves you no matter what. And if you don't believe in God, then whatever else you believe in loves you. The earth, the aura, the air, I don't know what other things people believe in, but whatever your higher power is, loves you. And you're worthy of love, and you're worthy of being who you are. So do not be afraid to be who you are. I think that it worked out the best for me the way that my story went. But others probably couldn't say the same thing. So luckily, I ended up with a choice that I would have chosen anyway, that I wanted forever. But had I given in and allowed myself to fully be one way or fully be the other way, I feel like I would be regretting that. And I feel like every journey is different, and whatever it is that you need to do to find your sexuality and figure it out for yourself, that's so important. No matter what you were raised, no matter what you were taught, what's really important is to find out what you feel about it. And what I feel about it, through all of my life, having to deal with this in secret, completely alone. And then in the last couple of years, what I've learned with my husband, my therapist, and praying and talking to my incredible mother, who has just been like the most supportive out of anybody. I've just learned that, I am a beautiful, strong daughter of God, and I know that God loves me, and I know that God loves every one of you, and it doesn't matter what your sexuality is. It doesn't matter if you cut yourself, or if you binge and purge, or if you restrict, or if you burn any sort of self-harm. It doesn't matter what your sexuality is. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are. Whatever your higher power is, it's there for you for a reason. I know that God loves me. I know that He feels my struggles, and I know that He is helping me through figuring out who I am and where I've come from, and the reason that I was given different things in my life. And I have so many beautiful things in my life. I have so many really hard things in my life, and this is something that I consider to be beautiful, because I think it's really cool that God made me this way, where I can have love for everybody. So whether or not I choose one or the other sexually, it doesn't matter, because I already have. And so I choose Him forever. And for those of you that might be wondering through this entire video, but Shanny, you hate sex. How could you possibly be sexually attracted to both men and women? Well, I don't know how to explain that. All I know is that I am. And the very few times a year that I do get sexual feelings, it's always towards both still. And Danny knows this, and it's something that we've worked through and incorporated it, I guess, into our marriage to make it not be about what it really is about, but just to accept that that's who I am, and that's what I feel sometimes. And ultimately it just doesn't matter, because I've chosen Him and I'll be with Him forever. And He has been the most supportive person that I could ever ask for to have as my partner. And I will never leave His side, and He will never leave mine, no matter what happens. We are strong. We are really cute together. We're really loving towards each other, and we will always, always be there for each other. And to me, that's what matters the most to me, is Him. So, I'm really proud that I didn't sob, because I didn't wear waterproof mascara. It's sorry, I had to catch myself every time I started to cry, because I was why didn't I not put on waterproof mascara? I'm an idiot, but whatever, live and learn, right? That's the story of my life. So, okay, did I cover everything I wanted to? Probably not. I'm going to turn it over to you guys, and just so you know, if you've got negative or mean things to say to me, you might as well save your breath, because I have lots of moderators that are going to be moderating the comments, so don't waste your time. I mean, if you want to, that's fine. That'll only help my YouTube status more, so thank you for the comments and the views and stuff, but like, you might as well just keep it to yourself. And for everyone else, I want you to be open and not feel ashamed of whatever it is you're going through, even if it's not your sexuality, whatever you're feeling, that inner conflict that's causing you to hate yourself so much that you are doing these horrible things to yourself. I can tell you that I know how you feel. I don't know exactly how you feel, nobody can, but I know what it feels like to despise myself to the point that I hurt myself and I don't care about my well-being at all because I despise myself so much. And it was all because of a miscommunication. It was all because I didn't dare to ask why. Why can women not marry women and men can't marry men? Like, why? And how come I feel this way, but I'm being told that's not good or whatever? It took me a while to figure it out, and I'm glad that I did. And now I know what I believe, and it doesn't even matter if I believe that it's right or wrong or whatever. My view is the same that it's always been, that you guys know, which is that I love people for people. I don't care what you do in your personal life. I don't care where you've come from, what religion, what background, what color your skin is, what sexuality you are. I don't give a crap. I don't care who you're attracted to. I don't care who you're going to sleep with. I don't care. And I would hope that you guys can respect my beliefs in knowing that I do come from a background and I do have a full testimony of the gospel that I am a part of. And again, like I said before, there are some things that I don't understand here on earth, but I know that someday I will. And so I feel like if I just keep going and being a good person and loving everyone equally and showing that you should never be ashamed at all for loving someone. By the way, I have a feeling that now that this is out of me, it's not going to be clouding everything else that I'm doing in my life or trying to do. So I'm hoping I can kick my decluttering series into high gear and get it done, because I really want to get it done before the fall. And I feel like this is going to help free me. So I want to give a special thank you to the very few of you, just a handful of you, that I've chosen to share this with a long time ago, and that have also been there for me and helped me through it and helped me navigate really what it is for me and what it means for me and what it means in my life and stuff like that. Like it really, really means the world to me that I've had so much love and support from those very few people. And I chose those people for reasons, because either they've gone through something similar or I just felt prompted by Heavenly Father to go to a certain person or whatever. So I just want to say thank you, because I know it hasn't been easy trying to support me. I've been a mess over this and trying to figure it out. And now that I know who I am and now that I've figured it out completely, I feel like I can move on in my life, but I will not stop talking about this, because I will never stop talking about the fact that God loves you no matter what. And I would never want any of you to actually go through something horrible because you're scared. And so maybe if I be brave and share this, even though I'm not living a bisexual life, maybe that will inspire some of you to stick around and figure yourself out for you, and not what the world is telling you that you are, not that what your family is telling you, whatever, who you are. You're the only person that knows that. And reach out to your higher power and work through it with your higher power. And I promise you it will pay off someday. And I also want to give a huge thank you / apologize to everyone who has been so patient, because I mentioned this secret problem, I think like a year ago, and all of you have had to wait this long to find out what it is. I never should have said that I had a secret problem, but I did. So live and learn. That was really stupid of me, and I apologize for that. But thank you for being patient with me until I was ready to talk about this. And then I want to thank my family. I feel like I'm like accepting an award. I'd like to thank my family for this arrowhead of truth that points to the sky of the mountains and the trees, and it points upward into the heavens. of the water that is purified for my soul. I would like to thank my family, for real, for being so amazing and for not hating me, not disowning me, not wanting me in your life anymore. I have the best family in the world, and I was terrified to tell them. So if any of you out there are feeling that way, trust me, I've been there, and I was positive that they wouldn't want me in their lives anymore. Even if whether or not I'm actively in it right now, or if I was in the past, or if I plan to be in the future, whatever, it didn't matter. Like, I just automatically was like, oh, they're gonna hate me. But I'm just telling you, like, trust me, it is so worth it. If you can get the courage to tell the people that mean the most to you, whatever it is you're going through, even if it's not your sexuality, whatever else it is, your eating disorder, your self-harm, whatever, like, you can do it. The last thing I want to say, I love and I'm so grateful for my husband. He's a really special guy. And this couldn't have been easy for him to help me through this and to figure out my sexuality when he is so sexually attracted to me. And he has been so patient when it comes to that. He's been unconditionally loving towards me. And it cannot have been easy for him this whole time that he's known to be patient with me while I process everything and figure out exactly where I want to be, which obviously is with him. I know that now, but there was a little period in the past couple of years where he asked me pretty much to explore that possibility, because he didn't want this to be something that could possibly get in the way later. So I just think it takes a really strong, amazing, confident, secure man to be able to do that, to say you do what you need to do to figure yourself out, and I will be here for you every step of the way. I do not deserve him at all. He's actually an angel, and he was made for me, and I was made for him. And I'm so happy that we found each other, and I'm happy that things went the way they did, because if they didn't, we might not be together right now. And so I guess I am grateful for this journey, and I am grateful for how hard it was, because it's led me to being the happiest that I've ever been when it comes to love. And he completes every part of me. He completes every empty hole that I have. And he supports and never ever gives up on me, ever, not even for a split second. So Danny, if you're watching, thank you for being my best friend, being my husband, being my partner. And thank you for being so patient with the mess that has been me the past couple of years. And also the other mess that's been me since you've known me. And also to my family, who knows that I've been a mess since I was a little girl. I would just like to take this opportunity to apologize to literally everybody that I am such a mess. But thank you for loving me through it. I love you guys a lot. Leave your questions below. So it's going to be hard. I know there's going to be some conflicting feelings when it comes to my religion, my faith, my family, and other people in the world. And I know that some of you might want to like butt heads about it, but I just ask you to be respectful and talk about, you're allowed to talk about your beliefs, but please be respectful about it with each other, because this isn't easy for everybody. And I know that these days it's like common to come out, and it's common to just say I'm gay and I'm bisexual and I'm whatever I am. But there are people that struggle with this, that have conflict because of where they come from and their current situation. It might not be a possibility for them to live the way that they know that they are. So you just never know what someone's going through. So please try and be kind and understanding to everybody's beliefs, but please also try and speak to each other in the comments. And I will read the comments someday. So if you want to leave me encouragement, that would be great, but you don't have to. And if you want to leave me hate, that's fine. But again, you're wasting your time, because I have so many moderators that will be, if you say anything about my family, you'll be gone. So you might as well not even try. If you oppose to my beliefs, that's fine. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're gonna like be mean and say something really mean and rude and hurtful, sorry, you gotta go. I need to move on with my life and tackle all the other stuff in my life now, because now I've gotten this out of the way and I feel so much better now, and I know that it's the right time to do this. And I love you guys, and you're not alone. If anyone out there is going through a similar situation to what I've been through, it's a lot more complicated than just, oh, I'm bisexual. It's so complicated in the world that I come from, which I love, by the way. Love my world, love my home, love my family, love my church, love my religion. I love my prophet. I love God. I love Jesus. I love love. And that's okay. I love you. Thank you for listening. And thanks for being patient with me. I know it hasn't been easy. So I love you guys, and I'll see you for the Q&A probably, hopefully tomorrow, the next day, maybe 2 days from now. I don't know when you're going to be seeing this, so hey. Anyway, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. And remember forever and always that you are beautiful, you are worth it, and I am too. Thank you for watching. Bye!